QA is quality assurance, and it's assurance that we get the quality of contracts that we put out, for the work. A good quality is someone that knows what the core specs requires, and know how construction is and how contracts are ran. Also with known to the legal aspects or the contracting aspects of that as well. Not worrying about hours and time and all those things, that's out there, engaged with the contractor and that's engaged with the work and is dedicated for that.
You definitely will need somebody that's willing to put in a lot of hours. Our regular schedule is 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. You may have to work some more than that on occasion. This type of contract with the housing mission is really just a fast-paced construction project. Building a mobile home park as a construction project would be kind of slow, not very interesting, but when you're doing it as fast as we do, it's difficult to keep up with. You have to be able to organize, you have to be organized, you have to be able to multitask. And one of the biggest things that you have to do, you have to be able to work with people. You're out in the public, you're talking with the applicants, the families, you're talking with the contractor, you're talking with the customer, with FEMA, and at the end of the day, you're trying to bring it all together.
And I want to add on that too is that you got to be a people person. All these applicants that you have out there, we call survivors. You have to be able to, handle that in a professional manner and take care of that because, you're working so many long hours. You're dealing with so many people, and you're also dealing with other government agencies. You're dealing with electric companies. You're dealing with contractors. You're dealing with even our own personnel, dealing with them. And it can be very cumbersome, but it can be challenging.
Right.
And you have to be able to be a strong person, especially, to deal with people, I think.
And it really does help to have some project engineering experience or COR type experience. You don't have to be a COR to come on one of these missions. You definitely need to be able to deal with people like Todd said. It's good to have somebody that is familiar with contracts, familiar with knowing how to read a contract and interpret it, and then make sure that the project is built in accordance with the contract that we let.
And knowing the contract boundaries as well is very important because of what you can and can't tell the contractor and what you can say and what you have control over and what you don't have control over on those. And reporting back, you have to be able to report consistently, even if it's electronically or however it is, to be able to get that proper data back to where it needs to be at a proper time.
And we look for good QAs to, sometimes we'll promote within to turn them into QA supervisors, but we look for somebody with that management skill set to organize the QAs and be able to help us keep track of our reporting requirements. And another thing that's important, seems like there's a lot of things that are important, but flexibility is definitely important in this kind of mission because it's every day is a new day and we change things or things change, the requirements seem to change, and your position might change while you're here. You have to be able to get around. You need that sense of direction. There are things that you might could do if that's not one of your strengths. There are certain things, but by and large, most of the positions here require you to get out and go see the applicants, go see the properties. It's very beneficial if you can operate a GPS or a cell phone that has GPS functions and mapping functions. Or, like Todd said, if not that, then the old school way of just using a map.
Because in some of these, not maybe in this one, but flood or even in hurricane stuff, there's signs and stuff are gone. The street signs are gone, they're washed away or anything like that. So it can be challenging, especially, GPS is a big tool that I'm glad we have now, and it's, I wouldn't say a requirement, but
it's almost a requirement.
Yeah.
Because like you said, some of the street signs are gone. So if you're relying on maps and street signs, it's pretty difficult. So another thing that we were talking about is for certain positions, what we've noticed is that it's really important that you have done this before. There's positions at the Joint Field Office, the JFO, where the Corps of Engineers and FEMA and sometimes the state sits. So an action officer, a mission manager, a resident or area engineer, even QA supervisors, it's nice to have had not necessarily housing experience, but at least some sort of disaster response experience before to be able to do those missions.